Oh, we have a pretty full house. Okay, great. Well, yeah, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Want to welcome everybody back again, board members, elected officials, liaisons, guests. And I'd like to also introduce Forrest White. Is Forrest on, Sandy?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hi,
Right.
Forrest. Yeah, Forrest is I guess correct me if I'm wrong, you're working on your master's in public administration at UNCG,
That's correct.
right? And now you are an intern with the EDC.
Yes.
So this is your first meeting.
My very first meeting. So take it
Well,
easy on me.
All right, you're fine. Well, welcome to the
Thank you
group.
so much.
Glad to have you. So the first order of business is to go ahead and approve the minutes from the last meeting. Sandy sent those out and hope you had a chance to review them. And with that, I'd like to ask for a motion to accept and a second.
I'll make a motion, Mark Prince.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second. This is Darlene.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Darlene. And all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. All right. Thank you very much for that. Let's go ahead and turn it over. We're going to start out by turning it over to Sandy, who is going to give us an update on several business matters. So go ahead, Sandy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am pleased to share with you. I hope that you all received my emails and saw a lot of the press that this great company received. And you see here an article by the High Point Enterprise, Pat Kimbrough, about a hot sauce company called Hot Shots Distributing Inc. They are coming out of Charlotte and will be located on West Green Drive in one of the bulk properties that came on the market as the result of our small scale manufacturing work. And you see here the husband and wife team, it's Matt and Lauren Heald. And they are extremely excited to be part of the High Point community and really be engaged and involved. So a great success story for South High Point and High Point as a whole. So again, the food sector is blowing up. And so we were excited to be able to welcome them somewhat virtually still at this point, but we'll be hopeful to be able to have some things in person as they continue and as our state continues to open. They were able through our work with the Carolina Corps, Piedmont Triad Partnership, also to get a lot of national media attention and food industry news and other publications. So we had our 2 great local stories and then 3 national stories as well on this project. The second one that I wanted to share that announced since our last meeting is this Home Depot location. So a delivery facility for them in North High Point on Peg Road. They did not ask for any incentives. And anyway, I think the real estate itself was very compelling as well as the location. I drove by that building today. There is a very, very small sign in the office window on the south side of that beautiful brand new Scannell building there. So sometime when you're up that way or near there, feel free to check that out. The next piece of the agenda and I wanted to share and introduce is Stefano with us on the call today?
Yes, I'm.
Yay, welcome Stefano. I know you weren't able to join us last time, and we did after you and I talked afterwards. You know, we totally understood because business always takes precedent. And so we wanted you to take care of the things that you needed to. And I had offered to the group that perhaps you could join us this time. And if everybody that was on the call last time might remember, we did a marketing piece for GCEDA with our Greensboro partners, and I see Brent Christensen's on the call today. So between Greensboro and High Point, we worked to put together a mailing that we did after Christmas because we didn't want to get in the Christmas rush. And we mailed the Cheerwine and then the wonderful Wicked Crisp product that's a healthy snack that is made by the ingredients that Stefano and his team at LC America produce. And this project at 8221 Tyner Road was a project that we worked on and helped welcome LC America. And I believe it was back in 2012, Stefano, correct me if I...
That is correct. That is correct. We started in 2012.
Thank you. Anyway, with that, I wanted to turn it over to you, and maybe you've been such a great partner for us, and I just wanted to give you an opportunity to share a little bit more about your business and your experience here. And I know you've been involved in the community and you have a great workforce as well. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Stefano, for, you know, in the 5-minute range, if you would like to share.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, and I'm glad to share my experience that so far has been very, very positive here in this community. So in 2012, as Sandy mentioned earlier, we started our hiring process for this facility in is technically Colfax, but we belong to the High Point community. And we hired the first group of people. We sent them to Italy to get trained, and then where they learned about the process. Meanwhile, we were updating the building and installing the machineries. In January 2013, we started our production, and the first of our customers was actually this company. Is a Greensboro company that back then didn't have the brand Wicked Crisp. The name is Carolina Fine Snacks, and is one of the main reasons why we choose to consider this location first of all. And after that, we have been convinced by many other factors, including the logistic and the access to the capital. We started working with BB&T and other important factors, including the availability of workforce and the cost of doing business. So these were the main drive back then. Since then, we grew quite a lot, and now, of course, we have several different customers. None of them are in North Carolina, by the way, except for this old and first customer of us. And this is a very interesting customer. It's not the biggest, it's not the greatest, but is what we believe is the more interesting, because they use a very specific process that instead of frying our pellets, we produce snack pellets. Is a semi-finished product for the snack food industry. And so instead of frying our pellets, they hot air expand the pellets, so making the product more interesting from an healthy alternative perspective. So this is one of the reasons why we believe these products are going to be more and more successful in the market. And they believed in this uniqueness of these products, so that they invested in their own brand. They used to be a co-packer, and they launched this new brand, Wicked Crisps, that is having quite a lot of success in the market. So this is the story, and we are now part of the community since a while. We try to be good members of this community. We offer opportunities for jobs, and we are constantly growing. So we hope to stay here and to keep on growing for a long time.
Thank you, Stefano. We hope so as well. And we appreciate everything that you do. And I will share with this group, Stefano even delivered the crisps for us. He did pick up and delivery, which was very good of him as we were working on that in January. Or maybe even right before Christmas, I think it was. So he was trying to make sure that we had our product so that we could get our deliveries taken care of them. And we just appreciate you so much. And we appreciate your connection to Italy and to the other Italian businesses in the state of North Carolina. And we look forward to a long continued process. So thank you, Stefano. We appreciate you joining today. So, okay. With that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment. And Mr. Chair, I'll turn it back over to you. You can announce the next item, which I will take also.
Okay, yeah, let's see. You're going to take over for Marshall because Marshall's not on the call.
Right. I apologize. Marshall cannot be here with us today. I mentioned, I know last time he had new twin baby girls, and so he is not able to be here. I know he had hoped to be. And the next item is a website that has been launched. And again, this is part of our small scale manufacturing work. And one of the pieces was connecting people from the neighborhood to resources to help them with their work search and knowledge of all of the agencies, the support agencies that are there to help them. And so the task force that Marshall led has worked on this. And so there is a brand new, it's kind of a microsite. It's called workhighpoint.com. And on that, it's the employment training resources, all of the partners that were really engaged throughout the process, like Guilford Works. There's information about Chris Rivera's organization there. There's information about GTCC. There's information about all the apprenticeship programs, the GAP program, and then the adult apprenticeship through Guilford. Information about reading connections, also about High Point's construction training programs. That was something that we started working on a couple of years ago as we had all of this brand new construction going on in High Point. We wanted to try to arm people, with the proper skills so that they could benefit and be employed in the development of those spaces. Communities in School, the Welfare Reform Liaison Group, and then of course Guilford Works Next Gen program too, which is for individuals 16 to 4. So I would just encourage you to take a look at that, and certainly it's another piece of resource that you can share with individuals as they are looking to find work or to connect to other resources. So thank you for that, Mr. Chair. With that, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to Marshall. Now Max, who I believe is 3 years old, his son now has 2 little sisters. That's fantastic. Yep. Okay, I'm going to take the next few minutes to talk about someone that we all know very well, and that is Lauren Hill. Lauren has joined us today, and as all of you know, Lauren served on the economic development, High Point Economic Development for 20 years before he retired in December. In fact, I know I should use that word, Lauren. I know you've said that you really are redirecting your energy, which you have, and so now you've taken on a role with the Carolina Corps in economic development, and congratulations for that. But as you all recall, we had our annual meeting was a virtual meeting that we had back in November. over at Amada, and but we never got a chance to really, as a group, thank Lauren and congratulate him for everything that he's done and what he's going to be doing in the future. So we want to take a few minutes to do that. And in addition to that, we have a little recognition for Lauren. Let's see if people can see it. So Lauren, this is something that we are presenting to you today virtually. And on it, it's got your name, it's got the years of service, as well as an appreciation for all the work that you've done for the entire area and for your friendship and your partnership with each one of us. So we'll get this to you somehow after this meeting, but I want to make sure to take a few minutes to recognize and congratulate you as a group. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. That's awfully nice. I will look forward to putting it here in my home office.
Excellent. Excellent. Very good. And Lauren also sent a link to a podcast via email. I did get a chance to view most of it today, and it was very interesting. I encourage each one of you, if you take a few minutes, I think it's like 20 minutes long in total, and it was very interesting. I mean, it answers a lot of questions. It has a lot of information about the Piedmont Triad Partnership, as well as Carolina Core, and you go into your background, and you learned a lot. I learned a lot about from you. You've got a pretty broad base of experience, and also it was very, very. So I encourage people to join and listen to the podcast when you get a chance.
What you meant, Carlos, was nobody would keep me around long until I got to the city of High Point. And once they didn't push me out, I hung tight as long as I could. So
good, and we are glad you did. So yeah, looking forward to many years of a continued partnership. At this point, I'd like to call on Pete Fish, who is team president of the High Point Rockers. He's going to be our featured main speaker today. And Pete, I understand that you've all stayed very busy even through this COVID economy, and you have a lot of things planned, some great things planned this year at the True West Point Stadium. So I'm going to turn it over to you so you could tell us what's going on.
Thanks, Carlos. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. And you're right. The past year, I started last March 9th. 4 days later, they closed the schools, and 4 days after that, they shut everything else down. So, immediately I was wondering what I got myself into. But we were 50 days away from opening day when this happened, when the pandemic really hit. And as an organization, we had a choice to make. And our first decision was, how could we give back to the community in light of this unfortunate times? So on what would have been our opening day, we turned the stadium into a drive-through for we served over 1,100 meals to police, fire, EMS, and frontline workers. That was the first thing we wanted to do. And then on the day that would have been our road opener, we held a food drive and donated over 8,000 items to the Salvation Army Food Bank. So these were things we thought, okay, this thing's going to be over real quick, so we'll be playing baseball pretty soon. Well, I was wrong. So then we had another choice to make, and our choice was, do we sit back, curl up, and wait for this to end, or do we try to learn from this and get better? And what we tried to do was get better. We had a great facility here, and we pulled the staff together and said, guys, you got to get creative. How can we use this state-of-the-art, beautiful facility to still be a community venue through this time? So it's funny, weeks ago, I heard someone say, well, the stadium over in High Point, there hasn't been anything going on. And I wish they would have told me that, because last summer, despite a pandemic, we hosted over 275 amateur baseball games. A lot of them were without any fans. And then it went to 25 fans, and then it went to 50 fans. And everything was done within the state health and safety protocols. But we decided, let's make this an active place. We added fast pitch softball. We had collegiate level baseball. In November, we did a comedy show on the field. When comedy clubs were closed, we figured out how to safely do a comedy show with Rob Schneider from Saturday Night Live on the field. He was actually on the pitcher's mound for his show. We had yoga at the point. Yoga studios couldn't do stuff indoors, so we had yoga on the field every Thursday night. We had our kickball league. We had blood drives. The YWCA used the concourse for walking when they were limited in their indoor activity. Santa Claus was here in December. We figured out a safe way to have, to allow kids to have a visit with Santa at the point. We hosted camps and clinics, charity softball game between the fire department and the police department, raised over $4,000 out here. So all of that, we've been busy. And, that was by design. Our goal was to create foot traffic in this beautiful area that's developing down here. Every day when I look out at the stadium, I see that crane moving and I see things happening, and it's really shaping up nicely. So we've carried that over to this year. You fast forward to this year, and we've got a schedule. We will start the season May 28th. Our first home game will be June 1st. We're signing players. Right now, the governor has us at 30% capacity. But we look at 2020, and we are actually a better organization because of the adversity. We are so, we don't want to go through it again. Please don't think but we are a better organization, and we've already started new things for this year. Everything we do, we're trying to create foot traffic in this Catalyst area. This year we had our first youth soccer tournament. So we took this multi-purpose facility that's not just about baseball, and we put 2 soccer fields out there, and there were 38 matches in 2 days, and it was 11-year-old and 12-year-old level. But we brought a whole new group of people to this area at Truist Point. We've had high school baseball practices. We've had high school softball practices because their fields are too wet. And to show you how much of a multi-purpose field this is, last week or 2 weeks ago, we had a football team practicing on a baseball field that had soccer lines on it. So we can do it all. And that's what's really been beautiful about it. We're working on more comedy shows. We're working on concerts. We're working on higher level USL2 right now, soccer matches to show how we can put on a first-class soccer match. This past weekend, we had UNCG played High Point in 3 baseball games. And on Saturday, they played at 5 o'clock. And at 2:30, we had a wedding on the concourse, and they had their small reception in the Catalyst Club. So part of their reception was the game started. So they were thrilled that they had a baseball game going on during their wedding reception. So we've really stepped outside the box and realized that, yes, baseball didn't happen. Rockers baseball didn't happen in 2020, but a lot of other things did, and we're better for that. We've built relationships. We've showed people how vibrant this area could be. And all of those things I mentioned are in the planning stages for this year. And I told my staff, I said, you better get ready, because on top of everything we did, we're going to throw Rockers baseball into the mix. Something else we did as a reactionary measure, we opened the ballpark for lunch 5 days a week. And 4 days a week, excuse me. We had it open Tuesday through Thursday during the summer. And we opened it on Tuesday and Thursday night for dinner. And we didn't know how it would go. We've already got people calling us and saying, when's the ballpark opening for lunch? So we're opening March 16th, first week of spring. And now we've come up with something new that we wouldn't have ever thought of if we didn't go through what we did in 2020. So it's a destination where we have folks from the hospital walk over to have lunch, or Bethany Medical walk over to have lunch, or Congdon Yards can walk over to have lunch. And it was really fun to see people that looked at the opportunity to just sit at an empty ballpark and imagine the good things that could happen when we get out of this thing. So I've used 3 words to describe what we've been doing this past year: relevant, community, and catalyst. Relevant because that was our goal. When the Rockers aren't playing, we want to stay relevant. We want people to know we're not just here for baseball, we're here for the community. And the community part, our doors are open. When we get requests, we try to accommodate and include different parts of the community in the ballpark. And then we all know the word catalyst. This project, we know our task. Our task is to be the catalyst of a lot of other things going on down here. And it's fun to be in that. We know that role. And we're looking forward to all the good things that are happening. And yeah, I hope you can see my excitement about it because it really is a wonderful project. And I've got a staff here that just lives, eats and breathes what we're doing down here. Sometimes I have to tell them, okay, that's a great idea. But remember, we've got 6 other things going on that weekend. We got to figure out how to balance it out. But, we're excited about it. So we appreciate everything everybody on this call does and being a part of this community. And we look forward to a great year this year once, we feel as though there's a light at the end of the tunnel and it's very bright and we are excited about it.
Well, Pete, thank you very much. I mean, your excitement is definitely coming through. And I want to congratulate you and your staff for your creativity and your energy. And, it's so easy just to kind of throw in the towel and do nothing because it's easiest to do nothing sometimes and just, crawl in a hole. But you've chosen not to do that. So congratulations. That's great.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may,
Yes.
I would just like to say also that, from an economic developer standpoint, how much we appreciate the stadium and the Rockers team and the hospitality there. I know last year, before COVID, during the we had clients, retail clients in town, and we were able to go over during a day game. And music was playing and a baseball game was going on. And it was just amazing, the feeling and the vitality. And it was really impressive to those clients. And then as well, we have used the Catalyst Club to show off what's happening in the downtown. So it really does make a difference. And I think it helps us tell our story in such a bright and refreshing type of way. So Pete, thank you. Coy, thank you. And everyone that has been involved in bringing the stadium online. It truly does take a village, and this is a big part of the village on this call here today. So my appreciation.
Hey,
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, go ahead.
this is Ken. I just wanted to thank Pete for what he said. Just to add a little bit to it, we were down yesterday talking to Christian about a possibility of an event. And as we were talking, he was so excited about what they could do and all the different things. And as we sort of finished up, I said, well, I'm sure you didn't come here for this. You came here to deal with baseball and not just putting on events and all this. And he said, no, that's not true. He said, I came here because there is so much going on in this town down in this area. And I want to be part of it. And I think we can be part of it. And we're really excited about it. And I mean, he just went on. And it was really refreshing to hear that your guys and gals there are really trying to make the whole thing fit into what we're trying to do downtown. That was really great.
Well, thanks, Ken. And one thing that we're running into is we've exposed this. There's a lot of people who come down here that look out at the outfield and everything going on and say, wow, we didn't know this was happening. And the more eyeballs and more feet we can get here, today we had East Forsyth High School was out here practicing football because our field's too wet. And tonight we have a spring preseason type high school game out here that with the High Toms. So we've got a lot of things going on that brings people here that wouldn't have known what a gem we have on Elm, Gatewood, and in this area.
Let me add something if you don't mind. This is Coy. Number one, Sandy, behind your right shoulder, I like your Rockers
Yes.
emblem. And Pete, just for fun, behind your left shoulder, tell us about the lady in the wedding dress.
Well, my wife of 28 years, we met over baseball years ago, and when she had her wedding picture done, she posed with some baseball gear and stuff like that. So she's kind of seen me through this journey, and very fortunate to have her.
And I'll say again, I want to reiterate how our staff has performed during 2020 And with the leadership of Pete, it's been a remarkable journey. And I want to thank him and the staff for that.
Well, thank you all for your comments. And thank you again, Pete, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go on to the next part of our agenda, which is the partner reports. And we'll start with the city of High Point. Mayor Wagner, Randy, if you're on the call, if you'd like to give us any updates.
I guess I'll speak up. There's a lot going on downtown. We're keeping our eyes and ears posted for opportunities to arise as the economy starts to open back up, more people get vaccinated. I think we want to make sure we hit the ground running as best that we can. I made an announcement Monday night, just for your information, that FEMA is going to be, there's going to be a lot more information coming out about this, but FEMA has chosen Greensboro as their site for the only mass vaccination site in North Carolina. They're going to be able to vaccinate up to 3,000 people a day at that site. So look for some more information coming out about that. Also, I'm very excited about a couple of the things I think Sandy is probably going to talk about later during our closed session that may affect our downtown. The city council, we're well into our search for our manager. I expect around the middle of this month, I think it is, Randy, tell me if I'm speaking out of turn, but around the middle of this month, we should be beginning to look at candidates. We've had good response so far to our in our recruitment efforts. We've got some good candidates from what I understand. I've not actually seen that data, but the folks who are handling our search have told us that we've got some good candidates. So I'm excited to see that and get that process going. We hope to have a new manager by sometime I believe in May. Looking forward to spring happening. We're still trying to keep, as I like to say, trying to keep the herd moving. So there's a lot going on downtown in terms of some streetscape studies we're doing for the area around the stadium. We're trying to make sure that we are in the best possible position to get federal money, whether it be in this current COVID stimulus bill that's coming out, or we anticipate a large infrastructure bill to come down after that. So we want to make sure that we are in the best possible position to be able to get some of that money when it comes down. We're still working with all our partners around in the downtown to facilitate development there. Very excited about some of the new companies that are coming to town and some of the ones that are interested as well. I'm looking forward to get back to be able to do some ribbon cuttings. It's fun to go out and see our new businesses and to meet those folks who are coming to town. So with that, we're getting ready to get into budget season as well. Looking for some of this federal money in the current bill that's in Washington. Some of that money apparently is going to be eligible for local governments. So we're looking toward that to fill some gaps and to see what that will do to our budget process, because right now we're still kind of flying blind, much like we were last year. So I'm excited to see what effect that may have and where we may be in terms of funding going forward. So Randy or Britt, if you guys are on the call, you want to add anything, go ahead.
I think you've covered it all, Mayor. That sounds good.
Okay.
And Councilman Moore had told me he couldn't join.
Carlos, you're muted.
That was by design. So thank you. Yeah, so we'll go to, how about Guilford County, Carvina, Michael on the call?
Michael had also let me know just right before the call, he had a couple of things come up today that he was not able to join.
Okay.
Well, hi, Carlos. I am on the call, so thank you so much. The mayor did talk about the mega site for the COVID vaccine that we're really excited about. That's going to be held at Four Seasons Mall. So we're working, our county health department and our emergency management director working closely with FEMA to make this happen, along with our commissioner board chair, Skip Austin. We hosted a meeting of the mayors on Monday past. 13 mayors of all of the cities and townships in Guilford County. We wanted to hear from the mayors about what they needed from the county for their respective cities and townships. So that was a first, something that had not happened in over 20 years here. So that was a good meeting, and we did get some input from some mayors of some different townships. We do understand that High Point had a city council meeting on Monday, so Mayor Wagner was not able to join that call. We're preparing for our 2-day retreat that starts tomorrow. That's going to be of a different nature than most retreats that we have had in the past. I think that we're looking just to go into a new direction with a focus of having one Guilford County, inclusive of all and everybody. So our focus is going to be a little bit different this year for this retreat. We just it ended our CBO grant cycle on February the 8th. Of course, the ask was far greater than the dollars that we have available. So we will be getting those proposals and narrowing it down. There were about 6 from High Point specifically that are asking for county support through the CBO grant process. And that's inclusive of the Arts Council, Southwest Renewal, the High Point Market, Fort High Point, John Coltrane. All of those applied for dollars from the county through the CBO process. So all in all, we will not have but our retreat this month and not another commissioners meeting. So our next one will be April.
Well, thank you so much for that update, Carlina. Is anybody from the state on, Sandy?
I don't believe I've seen John Fairclough, so no, I don't believe so. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. Chris Rivera, Guilford Works.
Hey, good morning, or good morning. Yeah, it's that type of day. Good afternoon. It's almost 5 o'clock, right? Couple of updates from the workforce system. As the mayor talked about earlier, our economy is kind of getting into the recovery phase. We continue to see slight decreases in our unemployment rates. High Point is faring, fairly well. We have about 7,500 or so residents within the city that are still claiming some level of unemployment. But nonetheless, we're still reaching out and engaging and trying to get them back to work in some meaningful way. We're focusing on some areas of High Point that had experienced significantly high unemployment rates. It's primarily in that southern part of the downtown area going east. And so we're currently having an asset built, a mobile unit that's going to enable us to kind of mobilize some services out into those areas and be very strategic about what we're providing to them, particularly around providing skill upgrades in communities that have credentials that would lead to employment. So we're really excited about that. We're also looking to do some redesign work. We've been working with the manager's office on redesigning our career center on Idle Street and opening that up, making it a bit more airy and paying homage to what High Point is really about, which is being the furniture capital. So we're really excited to get that work commenced and holding an open house once it's safe to do so. But that's pretty much what's happening in the workforce landscape. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much, Chris, for that. How about the GTCC, Dr. Clark or Dr. Dudley?
This is Dr. Clark or Tony Clark. Just 2 quick things. One, just to let you know that on March 22nd, we are going to bring back our students for our lecture classes on campus. As I've always mentioned, we never closed, and we've been doing a lot of some lecture classes and all of our industrial lab classes throughout the pandemic. But since the holiday break, we've not had our English history classes on campus. They've all been online. So March 22nd, we're bringing those students back to campus. A lot of our students want to come back on campus in order to increase their learning. we have some that are concerned, but we're going to work through that. And we're very excited to bring our faculty and our students, all our faculty and students back on campus on March 22nd. There'll still be reduced hours. We do A/B schedules where you alternate days and things like that, but it's still a step in the right direction to get people back on campus. So we'll be doing that. Secondly, as I mentioned last time about the bond that the county's looking at and our participation in that. So last week, our board of trustees approved the 3 top priorities, which is improving our aviation offerings or buildings for the aviation programs, a transportation logistics center in the Greensboro campus, and then the 3rd priority is the High Point campus. So we'll be putting together the information to educate the county commissioners as well as people on this call about all the benefits of what we're going to be pursuing with the bond. So more information to come on that, but we are moving forward with that, and the Board of Trustees approved that plan. So that was good news. So that's just a quick update on what we're doing.
Thank you very much. Is Dr. Dudley on the call? Dr. Dudley?
Yes, I am. And
Yep,
Dr. Clark covered what we're up to. So we'll leave it at that. That was very comprehensive and complete.
Great. Thank you.
Well,
So
thank you.
we're going to be going to a closed session here, but before we do that, does anybody have any comments before we go into closed session?
Mr. Chairman, this is Mark Prince. I have something I'd like to say, please.
Mhm.
I'd like to note the significant loss our area has experienced with the passing of Mo Milani. Mr. Milani had a significant impact on the economic development of our area for many, many years, and just a tremendous fine gentleman, and he will be greatly missed, and just want to make note of that.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for that. Anybody else? Okay, with that, we're going to go into, I'll mention that once we get back to open session, we don't have any agenda to discuss after closed session. So we're going to have the board members, liaisons, and staff to participate, and then all other guests will be excused. And thank you very much